Greetings. You're listening to Rudy Radio. This is Terra Renee from African American Women in Cinema, and you're listening to Talk with Terra. The show will bring you fabulous women from the entertainment industry. And today, my guest is the fabulous Phoenyx, who is also the director of the African American Women in Cinema Atlanta chapter. We're so happy to have her here today. In addition to her being a director, she is a phenomenal writer. So you're in for a treat to hear what this wonderful and fabulous women have to say. So welcome, Phoenyx. How are you?
I'm awesome. Thank you for having me.
We're so happy. I tell you, I'm personally happy to have you here today. And you are an amazing woman. And we're so happy to have you on board, not only on the radio show, but certainly as part of the organization. I know we've had countless, wonderful. We've had countless conversations talking about the state of women in the entertainment industry and certainly in filmmaking as it relates to writing, producing. And I've told you on many occasions, just based on our research or my research alone, how the numbers just did not fare well when it come down to women, and especially women of color, when it comes down to getting jobs, such as writing jobs, producing jobs, directing jobs. What have been some of your experiences as a writer as it relates to this? And then I want to kind of go on this.
It's so many experiences. I feel like being a writer, and then also starting my own film production company and having other writers, producers, and line producers. I think for the most part is, as far as being a Black woman, being respected in the first forefront as far as conducting the business, as far as brokering deals, being that authoritative figure in the room of trying to broker $1 million deals and trying to, align yourself with people, being a novice as well as trying to learn from people in Hollywood who have kind of put me under their umbrella and tried to help me. So I think for the most part, being a Black woman, already know is a task in itself. I feel more so in the film industry is a little more trying to break through. So I am proud of the women like Ava DuVernay and people who I see who are really doing their thing as far as film, because it is hard getting past this certain level in film. So that's where I feel it gets to a plateau, and I'm trying to break past that.
I know. Well, can you tell the audience, you just definitely gave some very good insight about your background, and we certainly appreciate that. But what drew you into the industry?
Actually, I was managing Jay-Z's mentor, Jazzo.
Okay.
I took him to a magazine shoot, and there was somebody there who wanted him in a film. The guy was named Chad, and he gave me a script. At the time, I was speaking with some of Beanie Siegel's people. They were like, well, we want to do this hip-hop type of film. They sent the package over to me for me to check out the film, the budget, read the script, and I was intrigued by how it was set up. So I just asked the guy, like, how did you do this? And that's really what intrigued me. So from there, I hired somebody to write a script for me. He wrote the script. I studied it. I started buying the books. I taught myself. And then I just learned the business myself through books, I learned to do the budgets through what he would send me. I learned to do film forecasting from the spreadsheets he would send me. So everything I did, I basically just taught myself over the years. And then I just amassed a nice group of people to come along as far as actors and other film writers to teach me and, for me to master the craft. So that's what I did. That was a simple thing that just really sparked me.
Well, that's good. That passion, that's what I found that you really is certainly one of the ingredients that you will need in this industry, because it calls for a lot of endurance.
Right.
And if you don't have the passion, like what you just described in teaching yourself of that nature, you could seriously fall off real quick. But I wanted to also ask you, what genre of writing do you really prefer?
Horror. Horror. I've always
Really?
loved horror. Yes.
Why?
Stephen King,
Wow.
Alfred Hitchcock.
Oh,
Those are my film gods, my film gurus. Like those are my go-to for inspiration, my muses. But I also like sci-fi stuff. So Stan Lee is another
oh, wow.
person who I always look to as far as writing. And I like quirky stuff, because you can tell I'm a quirky person. So Quentin Tarantino as well. And I feel like they all basically embody those little things. But horror has always been the thing for me. I've always loved horror. Also, for people who don't know, in writing films, horror is probably the one thing that's the cheapest to shoot, but you recoup the most money from. So you could have a whole no-name cast and do a horror film on a small budget and come out on top. And I just love horror because I like being scared. And a lot of Black people don't really flock to horror, but I feel like with people with Jordan Peele now, and how it's coming out with more Black horror, now I feel like we're kind of crossing and delving into that arena now. And I like that. And I want to be, respected as, you should know what color I am when I put out my horror. You should just be scared. You're just afraid.
That is so true. When I first heard about Jordan Peele and what he had done, I was really surprised and really kind of blown away at what he was able to execute. And it appears that timing had a lot to do with this success. So what actually, can you name some of the films and the box office numbers from Jordan Peele projects?
I don't know. I know Get Out did a phenomenal. I think he started with like maybe a $3 to $4 million budget. And I'm not sure what he made, but I know he broke records as far as what he did with Get Out. And I think that's what made more Black people say, whoa, like they're accepting us now. Like, I was dealing with Kasim. He made the film Muslim, and he wanted to do another film, and I was trying to help him broker that film. And he was giving me the rundown that most people only see us as the romantic comedy types for film. So the go-to for African Americans is romantic comedy. So to break through, and like Jordan Peele did with the Get Out, Us, Mom, and other things, he's the driving force behind, is good, because they see that those things are doing phenomenal numbers. Now you'll see more people gravitating towards looking to African Americans for that content, whereas before they did not think that we could come to the table and represent on that genre. So now we have proven that we excel no matter what the genre is.
Yeah, and that's so right. And in that vein, because even some of the platforms really did not showcase a lot of horror films, like your BETs, they did not do it. So it was mainly other outlets that would really feature the horror film. So after it was able to go to the theaters, then you will see it on different other platforms outside of the BET. So I think it is certainly a new day. It's a dawning of a new day for that. Very interesting. Now, could you just actually, we're getting ready to go to break.
Okay.
And we'll be right back with more of the fabulous Phoenyx. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Mario Confetti, international Formula One driver. I sped to get to Long Island Telecom before they closed. I need to get one of these fantastic deals that Long Island Telecom has. because you can't beat the price anywhere else. Oh, get away from that car. What are you doing? Freaking kids playing with the car out there. Anyway, I'm glad I got here. Wait, what do you mean you're closing? I got to come back tomorrow? What's your number? 631-833-9679? Oh, stop writing me a ticket.
Welcome back to Rudy Radio. I am Terra Renee, president of African American Women in Cinema, and you're listening to Talk with Terra. And we're talking with the fabulous Phoenyx, who is the director of the African American Women in Cinema Atlanta chapter. She is an amazing writer and a force to be reckoned with in the film industry. Phoenyx, I tell you, you're making my day and really letting our audience know the truth, as the young kids would say, TRUF, truth.
Right.
So could you just share some gems to some of our listeners who are very interested in getting into the industry, but really don't have a starting point? And you talked with us earlier and letting us know what you did. And if you can just please share some of your pearls of wisdom.
Yes. So the first thing is writing the scripts. My friend would send me scripts. Like, I think the first one he sent me was Salt. Also, I pulled up The Shining. I think it's examining how scripts are set up, because it's very formatted, and learning the format, learning how to build the dialogue. That was the first thing I did. But then as you delve into it a little further, the first thing is to do a treatment. And people need to learn how to do a really good treatment, outlining how you foresee the whole thing playing out from beginning to end. Character development is the most important, because you need to develop really potent characters that have a rich storyline that interconnects with all these other people, that gives a realistic feel. And you have to really embody those characters. So you really have to put yourself in that position when you're developing them, and you just outline and write all those characters out. So you do your treatment, beginning to end. Don't think too much about it, because when you start overanalyzing, that's when you mess up. Just really freestyle. This is what I would like it to be. Really freestyle. These would be some very powerful characters. Give them backstories, how they would connect with each other. And then it depends on what you're writing, because I write not only screenplays, but I also do episodics. So if you're doing an episodic, then you're going to outline your pilot episode. You're going to maybe do 3 or 4 following episodes to kind of set the tone for how you foresee that season going. But you kind of just want to map out everything and refer to people who have done it before. Sometimes people put up their whole thing. There's also things like screenwriting Bibles. Like, I read the Wired Screenwriting Bible. So you can refer to screenwriting Bibles, kind of start one of your own. And I can honestly say I've had help from some people in Hollywood, like Julia Pierpont, Alan Noel Vega, who's given me like his plans and different stuff to help me. And he's worked with people like Jackie Chan, Oliver Stone. He does stunt coordination, but he also does the business end. So I've had the opportunity to seek out and work with other people in Hollywood. So if you can build a network and get to networking, that's another way. So I'm very big on kind of like a family type situation where you get to know people and they know what I'm expecting. And so they teach you. So it's really about connecting with like-minded visionaries, and they teach you. But also, when all else fails and you can't really find those people, you refer to books. The Hollywood Standard Format for Writing is out there. There's another book on the film business, and there's also one on the legal part of the film business. So everything you need is all out there in the books. And we have the wonderful internet. So, sometimes those books are free in a PDF. Like, everything is at your fingertips. You just have to put yourself out there to find it. And if you're really passionate about it, like I was, you just want to learn, like you soak it up. I'm still learning. So I'm always looking to see, let me read Get Out on the PDF. Let me see how he did this. I've learned so much, and just getting mentors and people like you and other people who write to come in and keep you motivated. That's how you do it.
Wow, that is true. That is how you do it. And you said something key. You got to be around a like-minded situation. You got to be around elements that will keep you motivated, because this industry, such as life, has its ways to really kind of bring some question marks. You know exactly where I'm going. Could you just expound on that? Because when I was getting interested into the industry, I kept reading articles of some famous people back in the day, and they would talk about, I just submitted my headshot to Warner Brothers, and the next day I got a phone call to be the lead. I said, wow.
Look, wow.
And then you go try it, and it's all kinds of things, and you're like, well, what am I doing wrong? But then you come to understand the real side of what it takes and the process. Could you talk about the process? Because I don't think a lot of people know about that. And when they start experiencing it, they get discouraged. And a lot of talent, I'm really, afraid to say that we will not experience a lot of talent because they've just been so discouraged by the process and the time frame, how long it really takes. It's not, you walk in the casting agency one day, and the next day you're the superstar, and a week then you get an Oscar. So please, could you talk about the process and time frame realistically?
Yeah, this is the thing. I mean, all good things take time. Yeah. And when you're really dedicated to something, you're going to be rejected. That's a no-brainer. Everybody, like I said, especially being African American in this industry, we're kind of not there on the totem pole when it comes to that. So you really have to be phenomenal. You really have to put yourself out there. But I feel like the most thing is you have to be resilient and persistent. You have to consistently keep developing content. You have to consistently keep mastering your craft. You have to consistently keep pitching your ideas. Just make sure that you're protecting your ideas by going to the Writers Guild. And anytime you do a treatment, you pay that money, you protect that idea before you pitch it, and then you pitch your stuff. You protect your script before you pitch that script. And I feel like that's the thing, that they need people. And that's why I like our organization, is because we're here to help teach people, the right way to go about doing stuff. But I've been turned down plenty of times for things, and I just keep going, like you pitch a script to somebody, you want to get this funding for it and not feeling it, then you have to go back to the drawing board, keep developing content, maybe ask them what content they're looking for, and bring to the table what people are actually looking for. But sometimes stick in the vein of what you like doing. Like I like horror. People probably would say horror would never do anything, but I stuck with it. Now there's a place for horror.
Well, Phoenix, I would like to put you on hold. If you can hold that thought, we got to run to break, and we'll pick up right where we left off. Thank you so much.
I am Madame Francois, and I'm introducing my new luxury skincare brand that's available to you at an attainable price. Discover my beauty secrets, luxurious, effective ingredients with proven results and a price tag that doesn't break the bank. Come indulge with me at lesmadamefrancois.com.
Welcome. You're listening to Rudy Radio. I am Terra Renee from African American Women in Cinema, and you're listening to Talk with Terra. We're here with our fabulous guest, Miss Phoenyx, who is the director of the African American Women in Cinema Atlantic chapter. So, Miss Phoenyx, please, we were talking about what are some of the processes that you as a talent would experience when you're going into the industry, and also the time frame?
Yeah. Oh, it's definitely years. Don't go in expecting, oh, I have this great idea and in a couple of months I'm going to be rich, famous. I've had projects from A-list celebrities that I'm trying to broker with half of the money there, 15 million, needing 15 million, and people will sell you dreams like, oh, I know this person who has the 15 million, and you get into these meetings and the person doesn't have it, or there's dissension amongst the ranks, and somebody wants a bigger cut, somebody wants more of a title on the film, but they're not entitled to that title. You go through a lot of stuff in this industry, and you just have to just really have thick skin, be resilient, and just get the right connections, but always keep going, always stay motivated. Like every no should inspire you 10 times more to go even harder, because one day it could be a yes. And like I said, when you look at certain people like Tyler Perry's, who started in the process they went to, and like I said before, Ava DuVernay, people like that who are starting off later in the game. You don't have to be in your early 20s, 18s to really make it, but what you do have to be is consistent and resilient and passionate about the craft. Now, once you stay passionate, then you're not feeling any pressure of work pressure, not feeling defeated or sad, because you're passionate that I will make it, I believe in myself, and you just keep pushing forward. But you will get rejection, but it's pretty much like in life. You go to a job interview, you get rejected. I mean, it's no different than the film industry, except the film industry is very oversaturated. So you really have to have something that is a standout thing, that's unique, that's just gonna blow people away. So you got to think outside the box. Whenever I do something and I write a script, I try to think of 3 alternate ways it could go, and then I think of a 4th way that nobody would ever think of, and I go with that. So that gives a shock factor that nobody could predict. Because when I sit and watch a film, sometimes you sit there and look at it and you know what's going to happen. I don't like for people to know it's going to happen to anything I write.
So that's
just
good.
Have a wow factor. That's all I can say. And stay passionate. Don't give up. You have to be consistent.
That is so true. I remember we had a film festival, and I love her so much, Diane Houston, who was the first African-American woman to receive an Oscar nomination for her film short. And this was back in the 90s. And she had said, she told our audience, that overnight success average is 20 years. That is just scratching the surface. So, yes, I concur with what you say. A lot of people feel that they should get the big break, when they're 18 and 19, and really, again, timing for your gift, and like you said, your gift that has the wow factor in it. Has the audience now presented itself to be ready to embrace what you have to offer? All of that takes time. That takes time. So I wanted to also talk a little bit about what we're getting ready to do. We're getting ready to start a educational series online to assist people as well who are looking to get in just various phases, in particular in the film industry, whether it be writing, producing, directing. And I know you're going to be hosting our first educational Zoom series. Do you want to talk just a little bit about that and what our objective is for that?
Yeah, well, coming into African American women in cinema, I think the educational component has always been my focus. I've seen lots of film festivals and film workshops that overcharge. It's like $500 for this one weekend of film writing. And everybody is not financially able to spring that kind of cash for a weekend thing. So I feel like if you can impart that knowledge to other women, a big group of women who really want to be in this industry, and share what you have and teach them the components like I taught myself, kind of put the tools that they need in their hands for free $99. I think that's a better price than $500. So so the educational component has always been big because a lot of women can learn from that. They can grow from that. They can make money from that. Like, I've made money doing budgets. I've made money doing film business plans because I do film business plans and budgets as well. So when you teach yourself these things and, learn these tools and crafts and skills, now you're monetizing yourself. So I feel like teaching them to learn for themselves will empower them to be successful in this industry that is so against like giving you those opportunities. Giving them this educational component is major, and I am excited to be a part of that. I commend you for having that be a part of the process for African American women in cinema.
Well, thank you. And certainly we're excited about what you're going to share. We know that it's going to be extremely valuable, and we are excited to get the word out and let everybody know so they can be in tune and be a part of it. And it would actually, these series will be leading up to the film festival, finally, that we will be having in 2021 that we had to postpone. So, Phoenyx, could you talk about inspiration? Because in this industry, there is so much jealousy and, this one trying to tear that one down because it's so competitive. And they're trying to get their project through the door. They're trying to get their project through the masses. So they'll tear down somebody else. I've been there. Oh my gosh. Over and over again. I mean, the mindsets, with the forces you have to contend with to just, walk through the door.
Right.
What are some of the inspirational things that you could give to our audience, those who may be discouraged because they got their first rejection?
Right. Well, let me tell you, I just did a film of mine that I wrote. It was probably my second film. Somebody hired me to do a short film, Antoine, and he made it into a film called Toxic Behaviors. This out right now on Amazon Prime. So I was excited when he did it, and he was like, we're doing a premiere on YouTube, and everybody watched it, and they was like, oh, it went so well. But then when it went to Amazon Prime, and they were like, oh, 100,000 views in 2 months. And I read the comments about how great the writing was. And I'm like, wow, I was like super novice then. So I'm like, if you think that's great, like, wow, I feel really good about that. So when you kind of see something that you did come to fruition, that can inspire you a little bit. And especially when people are paying you, like they entrust you to pay you a little something to put something together for them. It's like, wow, this is great. But even if I wasn't getting that, I still like the setup of helping people. I just like the film industry, period. I love writing, and I look at people, I watch films, like I watch a Stephen King thing come to light, like a Dr. Sleep. Like I love the books as well. And I think when people draw inspiration from the book and you see a film, it's like, wow, you get inspired, like how they brought that film to life from those words, just like The Color Purple. I think The Color Purple, the book was so vivid, more vivid than the film, but the film still really pulled out the key components of what the book was about. So when I see that type of stuff, that inspires me, because I'm like, how can I tell that story? How can I also be up there with these people like the Stephen King? How can I be the lady of suspense, and put out this content and to other people?
But on that, thank you. On that note, we're going to run to break, and we'll be right back with more Phoenyx.
Rudy Radio.
Hi, I'm Dan O'Shea, Executive Director for Maureen's Haven Homeless Outreach. It is our mission to support the homeless in our community. We provide an emergency winter shelter program, a day center, and support services to help the homeless in our community. With your help, we can continue provide services so critically needed to the homeless in our community. Please visit www.maureenhaven.org or call us at 631-727-683.
I am Madame Francois, and I'm introducing my new luxury skincare brand that's available to you at an attainable price. Discover my beauty secrets, luxurious, effective ingredients with proven results and a price tag that doesn't break the bank. Come indulge with me at lesmadamefrancois.com.
Welcome back to Rudy Radio. I am Terra Renee, president of African American Women in Cinema, and you're listening to Talk with Terra. We're here with the fabulous Phoenyx, who's giving us dynamic insight in the film industry as she talks about her experience and what she have accomplished. So, Miss Phoenyx, before we went to break, we were talking about inspiration, and you were telling us some of the projects that had inspired you. Would you like to continue just letting us know maybe a few more?
Yeah, I mean, I've always loved like Stephen King, Under the Dome, the Alfred Hitchcock, Hour, all of those types of things like that would inspire me because I just love horror. I also like martial arts films. So I'm thinking along the lines of doing something in the vein of that as well. Like a Last Dragon. So I had a concept for The Last Lotus and change it to a female instead of, a male lead character. So I just draw inspiration from films that really impacted me, that I really love, like Queen of the Dam. That's probably one of my favorite films. And I just love the inspiration from, all the different people who you just watch how their mind thinks.
Yeah.
I think my mother read one of my scripts before, and she said, "What is going on in your head? This is twisted." And I'm like, I'm just creating colorful content, So it's just, you just have to draw from what inspires you. When something really wows you, but you don't try to duplicate it. You try to pull out from you what inspires you and what your interpretation of things would be. But you just take the inspiration. You don't take the whole blueprint.
Awesome. So, we're in a very interesting time. We saw and witnessed the very unfortunate death of George Floyd this past summer. But what was unique this time, unfortunately, I had to say it like that because so many have died in that type of vein. But what was so unique was that we witnessed a worldwide outbreak. And for many of us, it was almost a sigh of relief to a certain degree because it was finally, we were able to get a voice to our witness and our experience, and it was becoming validated. And I remember even starting out as an intern in a major film studio, and I was sitting in the office as an intern, and the door was open, and there was a young white guy that walked past the door, and he took a double take. He just had to look at me twice because he couldn't believe someone like me was sitting at a desk in the story department. Like, wow, and then I would hear stories from executives that would fly in from the West Coast, and they would have these very, very colorful conversations as it relates to the type of film projects that were presented to them. And it became extremely colorful when it was projects about African Americans. So could you talk about your experience as being an African American that is, and I know we touched on it earlier, but just to go a little bit more into it, because what I have found in talking with several women filmmakers, one of the key elements that keep coming up is the fact that they tell me, Tara, I pitched this to this production company. They just don't get it because they're in a whole different alternative mindset or life or reality rather. And they don't think that what I am saying from my perspective, my community perspective, they can't relate. They don't understand the A's and B's to it. They don't understand the logic to it. They don't see it as real. And so therefore, they don't give me the time of day. They pretty much laugh me out the office, or they pretty much slam the door in my face. What have been your experience as a Black woman?
As a Black woman, this is our reality. It doesn't matter how they see it. We live this. This is something we live with daily. This is something we've gone through probably our entire lives.
Yeah.
I'm from New York. I've been there with the Bensonhurst happenings, Tawana Brawley.
Wow.
I've been at a Public Enemy Fight the Power March. I was there as a young girl, walking down the street with Public Enemy and walking down the street with the X-Clan. So I've seen firsthand. We've gone to a beach and watched our camp counselors get beat over the head with bats as we all ran and they tried to get us to safety. These are things that we've dealt with, and it's our reality, whether people want to believe that or not. We've all been through these things, and even more so when you delve into business, we're still met with resistance as far as letting us be in certain categories. Like I said, it's crazy how you look at nominations for things and people have to feel like they have to boycott the Oscars and go through these levels of things. Why aren't we noted the same as white people when we create these same hit these same milestones, make these same accomplishments? So it's very much real, and you see it just from how dynamic these actors are that get slighted in these award ceremonies. You see it every day. When you, like, Denzel's performance was stellar, he should have had this, or Angela Bassett was stellar, she should have had that. You see it just from that. So they're on an upper echelon level, so you can only imagine on this level how you're met with resistance when you come out pitching ideas. Like I said, I've had slates from people that I pitched with $1 million slates. And when you get to pitching and doing these things and negotiations with people, sometimes people don't want to talk to a woman at all. Nonetheless, a Black woman. And then with me having my own film thing, they're like, oh, I want to talk to him. I'm his boss. You will talk to me. You understand what I'm saying? So you go through those things because you'll have men of different races that don't respect the Black woman in the film, and they'll push to talk to, my attorney because he's a Jewish man, and they'll push to talk to the Latino writer because he's a man. Like it's for no other reason that he's a man and he's not a Black woman. And those are the things you're met with sometimes in film. And you got to factor in, if we're doing international things and sometimes it's something over in China or something, women in general are not really the business heads that they like to talk to. So therefore, you have to put a liaison in that place to be that voice for you, because the deal won't even take place because they're not going to talk to a Black woman because, as you can see, we're not respected.
Yeah.
So you have to learn to deal with that. But you also, like I said, I take an authoritative stance when it comes to my business. You will deal with me or the business won't be done. Do you want to benefit from a 6-figure commission or not? And those are the things. So sometimes people will literally pass up a 6-figure commission off the strength. No, we don't want to deal with that. And they don't even want the alliance with you. So those are the things you have to work with when you're dealing with film stuff, period. And as a Black woman, and we go through these things with Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter, and the reason we have to say that, and the reason why we put the stance of African American women in cinema is because white women in cinema have always been included. They've always been accepted. White women in cinema have always been respected. Dorothy Dandridge goes to the hotel, to the pool. Beautiful actress. Toe in the pool. drains the pool. You don't never the respect that we deserve to this day for film that I feel, or our talents or our crafts. Even as a president with Obama, even as a president, never the respect deserved for our race. And so we always have to emphasize our race to bring forth that we count. We bring value. We matter. We are not 3/5 of anything. We're the whole enchilada. And we have to let people know that we count. Our voice counts. And so it's not to be exclusive of anyone. It's to let you know, include us. That's what we're saying. Include us. Not excluding anyone.
And you're so on point, because companies, I believe I had was thumbing through a publication, and I saw a little snippet where it says companies who understood the value of diversity and inclusion fare so much better in the marketplace.
Right.
You know, when you understand the power that someone who may not look like you, what their value that they bring, you have just now increased your chances of becoming more successful. You know, and you know, during the civil rights era, that was not necessarily the case to a certain degree as what they saw because of the laws that was put in place. But the boycott that Dr. King had helped galvanize proved that, because the bus industry was going out of business.
Right. Our dollars matter.
Yes. Yes. So maybe it should be Black Lives Dollars Matter.
Right. You see, whenever we drop a film, everybody's there in full support, and that film skyrockets through the roof. We know the power of our dollar. We know the power of supporting one another, and people see that. They like our dollars.
Yes.
But as far as us as a whole, you know, not so much. They like our culture, but as far as us as a whole, not so much. And we're saying include us. Don't just take certain components you want from us. Include us and see us as the individuals we are, that are worthy, that are valuable, and that are contributors.
Exactly. And then you will see your benefits from doing just exactly that. Well, thank you, Ms. Phoenyx. You have been an awesome guest on this show.
You.
We appreciate you, and for bringing your fabulousness to our viewers, and definitely giving the jewels and the gems that a lot of our audience would love to hear. And we certainly look forward to the educational series in which you will be there, just letting it flow. And so we look forward to that.
Yes.
So we would like to give the audience our website address so that way they'll know when the educational series will be taking place. So the website is www.aawic.org. Please check back at in January. We'll have the information available then, January 2021. Also, we would like to thank Rudy Radio, and also for this incredible opportunity and platform to host the radio show Talk with Terra. And a big shout out to Mr. Rudy Breedy, who is the power source, powerhouse behind all of this. We appreciate you, Rudy Breedy, so much. And also Rudy Rangers Entertainment. So thank you so very much. And we look forward to our next series, our next show taking place. And we want to wish you
that.
Excellent. We want to wish you great, safe, healthy holiday season. We want to wish you continued health during this pandemic. And we know that we will all get through this. Thank you so very much again. I am
Thank
Terra
you.
Renee of African American Women in Cinema, and this is Talk with Terra.